well, I'll just do it and hope it doesn't hurt me.
Yeah, maybe they have a guy in the graveyard already. You just like slam it, hope it works. Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, then again, like you just hit the wrong cards, and Reanimator's got a lot of redundancy. It's very easy for them just to have the right card. And Team America's not the best setup against a Jingatoxis or something along those lines.
Yeah,
it's gonna kill you. So we have deck list back. Gerry does have 4 lane line of the board, but let's see. So main deck, Gerry has 3 days, 3 stifle, 4 force, 4 mental misstep. So.
Mental misstep is going to be valuable against the Entombs, against
the
Reanimate,
Brainstorm.
and Careful Study, Brainstorm.
So, Gerry, he has 11 real counter spells, whereas Ely has only, he has 10. 4 misstep, 2 days, 4 force. So, it's close there, and Ely almost has more early game dig. He's got Brainstorm, Careful Study, Ponder, 11 of those, whereas Gerry just has a Ponder and 4 Brainstorm.
I talked with Gerry about this matchup earlier. He was just kind of like, had no idea that he might be playing against Ely, but he said that he didn't really like his chances in this matchup. And I think his actual words were, "It sucks."
Well, he's got Diabolic Edict.
Diabolic Edict is a great weapon against so many of these things. I mean, Shroud is one of the ways that many of the creatures try to avoid being taken care of, and Diabolic Edict just doesn't care.
Yep.
Now, on the other side of the bracket, just a quick question. Zoo versus Hulk?
Zoo versus Hulk.
Who do you think's going to win? I think it's going to be Hulk 2-0.
Well, I thought it was Hulk at first, and then I realized something.
Uh-oh, what is it?
Green Sun Zenith. X and a green. Natural Order. 2 green, Pattern of Rebirth. 3 and a green. Gadok TE. No, sir. So these 2 Gadok Tees are going to lock down this Hulk deck post-board. He does have these slaughter packs. He does have outs, but it's very, very painful for the Hulk deck to deal with.
I think that, obviously, with only 2 Gadok Teagues versus 4 Slaughter Packs, Slaughter Pact is going to be an incredible weapon for Felix to go off.
Yeah.
However, he does have to pay for the Slaughter Pact. He doesn't necessarily, in every case, get the Hulk combo and win right away. Sometimes he only has the other side of the combo.
Well, sometimes it's not he only has it. Sometimes the Zudek might have a Tormod script. Sometimes he might not have the second stack outlet to get there for like a pattern or something. The other thing that's worth looking at is that all these passes and bolts, I think I did the math, and I think he might not be able to beat a removal spell necessarily. I'd have to look through again, but we'll see.
We both basically agree the Hulk has the edge?
Probably innately, yeah. Game 1, but we'll see. It could go either way.
Gerry Thompson and
Ely
Kassis. His name has been pronounced so many different ways today, but it is Ely. And
Ely, I believe, basically, I don't remember if he runs or owns Jupiter Games up in the Northeast, but he's basically a mainstay of that environment. Mainstay of these Legacy Opens. This is, I believe, his second top 8 with Reanimator.
Now, Gerry Thompson is not very pleased about this matchup. Now, we're going to have to try to be a little quiet. As the hall empties out, there are less people providing noise interference, so they could potentially hear what we're talking about. So we're going to drop our volume a little bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully that will...
not reveal the contents of hands to other players.
Oh my god, he has Force of Will.
Don't do it. Gerry, we're here to help. No, none of that. Let's see.
Gerry
Ely
starts the game out with a Underground Sea.
Yeah, Ely top 8'd a couple weeks ago in Baltimore. It's about a month ago. And
looks like he's taken the Sundering Titan out of his deck and put it into the sideboard.
Play Imperial Archangel. Ely has... Did he just not play land and discard? Yep. Well, that was his discard outlet. Going for an early Reanimate. The deck on the draw can just do that. Same with, we saw that with Manaless Dredge. You have a discard phase. People have talked about how they don't like that. What's going on?
Well, Gerry's rolling dice for some reason, 2 at a time.
Why is he rolling 2 at a time? Not entirely random with the double.
He hits a Reanimate, and I can't tell what the other card is that he hit.
Yeah. 10's towards the middle, but...
Hitting the Reanimate of
Ely's going to be...
Ely, that means it's possible he doesn't have another 1-drop Reanimated, and it might slow him down a full turn.
He gets C, though. It's really interesting against this Wasteland. Gerry has the Wasteland in his hand, but the deck with Wasteland, you know, you might just have to. Yep, there's a Ponder. Yep, it's basically the same deck that he top hitted with Ely's deck a couple weeks ago. He had an Urborg back then. Help cast these hymns that he has in the sideboard.
And we get a shuffle. Quick tip, be careful not to shuffle your hand into your library. It's been known to happen.
Really?
Yes, not a very good thing. Game loss.
It's so painful. Like, you shuffle your hand, you're like, no, I guess I'm losing. And game loss, actually.
Wasteland. Ely goes draw, has Animate Dead in his hand amongst other cards, lays a Misty Rainforest.
He had to have drawn that in the past turn. I think he used a Delta to fetch that C, though. So
Now, Gerry, remember, he is Team America. He could have a Stifle. So,
Does
in this
not.
case, does he? Nope, he does not. Ely, learning his lesson, gets his island.
yeah. You know, it's probably just because he's going to get two mana to cast an Animate Dead here, as
That's
opposed
correct.
to that. You know, the Ponder.
Casts
He
the
needs another
Brainstorm
land
this
anyway, so it's
time.
probably going to make black. Yeah. This is a end of turn Brainstorm on the stack. So if Ely misses, he could just be dead. But dead, he's not actually dead, but a couple turns basically just doing nothing, getting time walked by Gerry.
There is little that feels worse than brainstorming, seeing no action, and no way to shuffle your library.
Yeah, just being dead. Especially when it's a foil Japanese one. It's supposed to carry your way there.
I would be unsurprised if Ely Kassis' deck was among the most valuable in terms of the card value money-wise of any of the decks in the room.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nope. He means it.
and it looks like he's got his 2 back.
Yeah.
Had a small discussion about what happens next, and Ely untaps, draws.
Oh. Shuffling your hand. Apparently there's no penalty to shuffle your hand into the library.
I don't believe that that's true.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. I think it might be like a GRV or something like that. It might not be a game.
I mean,
don't think
essentially
it's-
what you've done is you've done an illegal action that can't be redeemed in the game state, so you get awarded a game loss.
No, that's
Like,
not. That's the old.
That's.
policy.
I mean, I've seen it fairly recently, actually. So maybe that judge was. I mean, I'm not a judge anymore, so.
Yeah. No, that's. I thought that maybe it was included under drawing extra cards, because I know there's like certain drawing extra card penalties, like accidentally returning a creature that's supposed to die to your hand. But then I don't think.
Well,
that's
if you
one.
destroy the game state,
That's no longer. That has changed. They start giving out warnings for that.
Okay,
so
so the-
he's waiting on. Looks like. Can't tell what his other land is, but he's just waiting on returning whatever creature he has down there. Gerry's got a full grip. Just passing back and forth.
Gerry draws.
Gerry's
Fetch
he was
land.
under no pressure, so he really
Gerry
doesn't
has
have to go for it.
Diabolic Edict,
Yeah.
and that was a Misty Rainforest there.
It looks like a brainstorm.
I think
Ponder,
that is
something
I think
shiny.
that's a brainstorm. A foil brainstorm of awesomeness. I believe we're having a quick conference with the judge over there to find out what happens. But
Yeah. Just wondering.
conjecture.
Under old rules, you know, irreparably damaging a game like that may have been a game loss, but it's not anymore.
And we sack the Misty Rainforest. Misty Rainforest is going to fetch out an Underground Sea. A $1,100 Underground Sea.
Yes.
$1,200, I forget which.
Enough to buy a car Underground Sea. A bad car, but a car nonetheless.
And I think that's a ponder.
Yep, there's a ponder.
Gerry's going to very much look forward to his thought seizes and his ley lines from the sideboard.
Okay, let's see. When does the showdown happen?
Says go. Untap. Up. Draw. I see some Force of Wills hanging out.
Probably on both sides of this equation. And the move is made.
Animate dead.
No idea what the creature down there is, but realistically anything but, I mean, Archangel's probably not the best. Elish Norn, Angel. If it's a Jin-Gitaxias, he doesn't have an Iona, so if it's a Jin-Gitaxias, that's what he wants. And that's one of the cool things about Ely's list. He's only playing 3 reanimates because Mental Misstep exists. I don't want to have my spells that matter countered by it. Make them spend it on their brainstorms, or if they decide not to, well, you know, they're not going to have a target.
Gerry thinking. He's prepared to toss whatever comes back to life out of the boat, but Diabolic Edict in hand.
There's going to be a fight over this one.
He says it's okay.
Just
There's
an Elish Norn.
Yep. Elish Norn is probably the most inoffensive reanimate that could have happened.
Puts the animate dead on the Elish Norn, but then reanimates, using it as edict fodder.
Gerry does have mental misstep here for this. And he has days.
A real showdown. Days.
Blue and
blue.
pool, days.
I think this days might just happen.
Reanimate is not resolving.
Ely probably has another spell in his hand that reanimates. Probably just waiting until next turn. Attempting to maybe bait a mental misstep. Just pull out some blue spells. There's an edict.
Diabolic Edict targeting Elish Norn. Well, targeting Ely Kassis.
Elish Norn?
Yeah, Elish Kassis Norn. And away it goes.
Yep. Proper graveyard ordering.
Another Diabolic Edict off of the top. I don't believe that was set up with a brainstorm either. Just naturally draws the second of 2 edicts.
Sometimes you're lucky.
Running hot.
I mean, Gerry is in top 4 again today.
And we're going to see, I think, another animate dead.
Yeah. No,
Exhume.
There are so many reanimation spells in this deck. Full 11. 1 out of 6 cards in the deck. I guess all he has is an Elish. Is all he has an Elish Norn? Is he just putting the Elish Norn to play to dodge any edicts? Because he just has so many reanimation spells?
It's possible. Gerry goes Edict.
Yeah. Elish Norn is a 4/6. That is out of dismember range. Ely debating whether he wants to make a fight over this.
Now, if I were Ely, I would probably know. Just because you look for all the cards you're scared of. Edict is one of them. There's both of them. There's none left.
There's Dismember that does target a Jin-Gitaxias, but...
Force of Will.
The important thing, too, is that Elish Norn not only beats Diabolic Edict, but it makes Elish Norn, or it makes Jin-Gitaxias beat a Dismember.
Force of Will. Fighting with Force of Will.
Pitching a Dismember on that Force of Will. I didn't see what Ely pitched there to the Force.
I couldn't quite tell either. I think they both pitched a mental misstep, but I'm not 100% certain of that.
Looks like that trade's going to happen.
Untap.
Yeah, I didn't even think about Elish Norn protecting probably the Jin-Gitaxias discarded on 1 from any potential shenanigans. If Elish Norton is in play, Gerry needs 2 removal spells to kill any Jink Kassis, and that is how Ely is going to win this game.
Gerry sitting on 5 lands, Force of Will in hand.
Yeah. Ely plays another land. Gerry, it looks like he drew a Brainstorm. One of the better cards to draw that turn.
Gerry draws.
Felix defeated Zoo game 1. Bit of an update. Grabbing deck list going to sideboarding.
I believe it's a main phase Brainstorm. We were just talked to by one of the judges, and so I'm not. I lost track of time if the judge asked us a question. We get a mental misstep fight over this Brainstorm.
Mental misstep's not really going to do much besides protect.
Another mental misstep.
Well, be Force of Will fodder. So
Gerry's like, okay, fine, you
Gerry
got me.
has a force up. So let's see how this goes.
Does he have 1 card in hand?
Ely has 2. Gerry has 1. Reanimate.
Reanimate. I think we're going to see a shortcut for 4 lands.
Force. Does he lose last card? Another reanimation spell? Because if it is, I think Gerry's dead. Jin Gitaxis is going to trigger if that is a reanimation spell. And if it's not, welcome to the top deck. Which I think Ely, again, probably ahead. More cantrips. Then again, I've gotten into this scenario before. More cantrips does not necessarily mean you're going to draw them first. Gerry has the first draw after this. Could go either way. Has Gerry used only 1 Brainstorm so far, I believe? If I'm counting correctly?
He, I believe, tried to cast a second.
No, was the I thought he.
Oh, that was his first Brainstorm.
Yeah, exactly.
It was Ely that cast the various different manipulation spells.
I think Ely's pondered at least once, Brainstorm twice, probably. Careful study,
Gerry
0 time.
draws. He's got only this fresh card in his hand. He emptied out his hand to cast that Force of Will.
Yeah.
He goes Brainstorm main phase. Classic play.
Brainstorm, misstep, dismember, perfect. Dismember is exactly what he needs to see here, I think. Unless that card is not an Elish Norton. Or not a Jin Gitaxis.
He's like checking to see what the targets are.
If it's just an Elish Norton, this game is very strange, but pretty interesting. Especially because that, there's no shuffling off that Brainstorm. Gerry's going to have to draw those.
I think he kept the Dismember in hand and has a Brainstorm on top.
Yeah, sounds correct. Ely passes the turn after
I predict main phase Brainstorm again. There we go.
Possible you wanted to wait a turn, dig most cards to get to a fetch.
I think that's a Tombstalker.
And a fetch land. So I think you stack... Maybe wants the misstep just to deal with it. Tombstalker. Removing 6 cards.
There's so many to choose from.
All of the lands... Ely in a bit of a tight spot here. Got to come back pretty fast.
He's got 4 turns, though.
But Reanimate's dead pretty soon, so he needs to top deck something not Reanimate.
He's already used 2 of his 3 Reanimates, so...
Does not draw it. Tombstalker,
Tax for 5,
11.
knocks Ely to 11. Gerry, did he just say go, I think?
Yep.
Yep. Leaving his fetch land and his Dismember in hand.
Misstep in hand.
Oh, misstep?
Yeah.
Awesome.
No, sir.
I can't tell what that is, but I don't like
Cantrip. Ponder.
Well, it's definitely a cantrip. I just don't know which one.
It's one of his 4 ponders.
Yeah.
Getting no, sir.
And here it comes.
Ely to 6. This is the fetch line Gerry set up on top. Ely untaps, draws.
Two-turn clock for Ely.
Hand, not much to do. Passes
Says
back.
go.
And it looks like Gerry drew a click.
And he's like, take 5, go to 1. No more Force of Wills for you. At least not unless you're paying for them fairly.
Vendilion, click you on draw step. Gerry's,
Ouch, there's the Exhume.
yeah, it looks like you drew Angel, Exhume, and I don't know what Ely's going to do from here. I actually don't think that once the Tomb Stalker hit him, he had any outs. And that's game. Gerry moves up 1-0 against Ely Kassis. So sideboarding, Gerry wants more Thoughtseize. Oh yes, trivia
So
question.
there's
Go
a
ahead.
trivia question. We were talking long and hard about what we would ask everyone for the giveaway that we're going to be giving here today. The Star City Games Open Series here in Pittsburgh. It's the semifinals. We give away 6 free months of premium. Now what we do is we ask a trivia question.
Yeah.
We tweet this question to the hashtag SCG Premium, and you tweet your answers back. Hashtag SCG Premium. The question that we talked about, here we have Gerry Thompson in this top 8. What singleton is in both his Legacy deck and his Standard deck that he played in the Standard portion?
Yeah.
He has a card, only 1 copy, and it's 1 copy in both decks. Just 1 copy in both decks. What card is Gerry T playing in both decks as a single copy?
We had a pretty good discussion with him this morning about why he was running that card as a single copy in his Standard deck, and I can only assume it's a pretty similar reason in his Legacy deck.
Now, for those of you who answer this correctly, we're going to select one of you to receive 6 free months of premium. Remember,
Yes.
hashtag SCG Premium is the important thing to put down there. Now, let's look at our sideboards for these two players.
Gerry has Leyline of the Void, Thoughtseize, Metamorph maybe, but I don't really think that's really what you want. You're going to copy and chain attack this after it's already hit. So he's going to board 4 Leylines, 2 Thoughtseize, and a Jace, I think. Those are the cards he can board.
That sounds totally reasonable. I mean, nothing else. I still don't mind the Metamorph as a weak edict. I mean,
But at sorcery speed, most of the time he's going to be getting back Jin, which is...
there are times where it won't be, though. I mean, it can certainly be better than some other card. I'm not saying it's definitely going to be in there,
Well,
but
let's
it's
look at
just
what
a
he has.
possibility.
Deed is going out. That's 1 card.
Yes.
Brainstorm? No. Misstep? Probably not. Stifle? I don't really think so. Maybe Daze, but I don't really think so. Force? Him? Is he
Him
going
is
to
a
board him?
question mark.
Yeah.
They need the deck list so that they can
Yeah.
have these.
Ah,
There we go.
him's a real question mark here, yeah.
I mean, Gerry actually actively named him as one of the cards he thought was bad in the matchup, but it did well by him in this game where he actually managed to
with the
hit.
right cards, yeah.
Exactly. There could have been a turn 1 or turn 2 reanimation from his opponent that he would have had to have misstepped if he had
Yeah.
it.
So him would have been interesting.
While we wait to get those deck lists back, in the meanwhile, Felix Lapon playing the Hulk Rebirth deck, and Dan Musser playing Zoo. They're in their sideboarded games. Felix won the very first game, and you were bringing up the idea that Galactique ×2 is going to be a card that's going to be of real value for Dan Musser.
I think GT also might be a good valuable card. Keeps all the 1 drops up.
There's a lot of random cards that you want to put a Pattern Rebirth on, or you want to sacrifice with a natural order, and if they don't have those creatures, you can't do anything.
You can put the creature directly into play, like fetch a Dry Arbor or play the birds, and as soon as it resolves natural order. But that's it. I think GTA might be...
if it's already in play, you can take care of it before
It might just be
natural.
better to just stay as this really linear Zoo deck. I think you board out Chain or Lightning Helix. I think you board in... You need Teagues. You probably want Tormbot Script maybe. You want Teagues. I don't really know, actually. Could go in a lot of directions.
Grim Lavamancer does work and is slow. You know, it has a job, it can take out like birds and such, but at the same time, if it's not taking out birds, then it's a really weak clock.
Sylvan Library's out for sure. Maybe board down on... Could go either way.
Going back to the match that we have under the cameras, we've talked about what Gerry might do. What do you think that we're going to see from Ely?
Blazing Archon, not going to cut it. Sundering Titan. Yes.
That's pretty good. Sundering Titan is going to be like the Terastodon of awesomeness.
Please.
It's like
all of your lands.
Land, buy.
That's my forest, that's my island, that's my swamp. Not mine.
Yeah.
Yours. So that one's coming in. I could see Iona maybe coming in, naming black if it hits. Imperial Archangel's out. Sphinx. Sphinx could go either. Elishorn's out. So I can see Titan and Iona coming
He
in.
knows
for
that
those.
Leyline of the Void is in Gerry Thompson's deck, which means that Show and Tell suddenly becomes a real possibility.
That is very true. Yeah. Grave Titan, also an awesome target to bring in. So let's see. Ely can bring in his own hymns, just kind of grind Gerry down on cards, something that he's been saying he's a pretty big fan of. Bring in Flusterstorm as kind of this additional counter spell. False Seas, Echoing Truth, Show and Tell.
How many cards are not very good for Ely in his main deck?
I think
the Reanimate might be one of the weak links.
No, I
Change
think
Reanimates to Show and Tells?
I think if anything, it's Animate Dead because of Stifle. You want to brick Stifle if Gerry keeps it in.
I don't think that Stifle will ever be bricked in the matchup.
Well, reasonably close to, at least.
With all the fetch lands and the way that the deck works.
Unless you feel that... I think that boarding out Reanimate, though, is trying to brick Misstep, and I think that...
It's not trying to brick Misstep, it's just trying to give Misstep a little less power.
I think hitting a Brainstorm or Ponder was even better than a Reanimate before. Anyways, you hit their cantrips, they don't get to everything they need to set up, or Careful Study or an Entomb. You know, especially because Entomb's there, like, there's always going to be a good target for Misstep. Like, Gerry's not going to, like, sit around on a Misstep saying, oh, he's going to have a Reanimate. He's going to counter the Brainstorm, he's going to counter the Entomb. Stifle, he might be a little bit wary of countering a fetch.
So what are the bad reanimation targets? Elish Norn does actually more work than we realized because it does keep a Jingataxis out of reach of a Dismember.
I think that's a little bit of a... If you're boarding in Sunray Titan, I think I'd just rather get back in Iona. You know,
right.
Iona does the same thing, you know. Iona
is way better, does the similar job. So Elish Norn then definitely goes. Imperial Archangel probably goes. Sphinx of the Steel Wind probably goes.
I can agree with all of those. I think Grave Titan's better than Sphinx of the Steel Wind.
Grave Titan actually seems like it's really awesome against Edicts.
Yeah. Just a little bit of awesome to make